If you're new to makeup and don't know where to put anything, I'm going to show you a simple, natural routine step by step, especially if you have acne-prone skin. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to place your makeup so it looks natural, not heavy or cakey. For beginners, your makeup will only look good if your skin is hydrated and protected. So I always use a hydrating layer and I always use a sunscreen. If you're acne-prone, you can also add a hyperpigmentation serum and a spot cream. So I use azelaic acid. Before starting, you want to let the sunscreen sit into your skin for about 10 minutes. This is crucial for even makeup application. So this is what my brows look like before, and this is what they look like after. I always start with brows because they frame the face. If your brows are defined, everything else looks more balanced. I start by brushing my eyebrows with a spoolie so I can see where I need to add definition. And I use a thin eyebrow pencil to slowly start adding definition to the front of my eyebrow. I use small strokes to slowly build up the intensity. So I fill in the gaps and then brush them through to soften out any harsh lines. And I do this with my spoolie. And if you need to add any more definition, you can just go back in with the eyebrow pencil. To add definition to my eyes, I would use brown eyebrow pencil or I would use an eyeliner. And you can use both if you want. So this is what my eyes look like before, and this is after. If you're using a pencil, you just want to gently add a little bit of liner onto the outer part of your lashes to give it more definition, and then just blend it out. If you want more of a natural look, keep your eyeliner wing small and straight. This subtly enhances your eye shape without looking too heavy. So I start at the corner of my eye and lightly go out. I try and make the line go out more straight as opposed to going too upwards. Then I simply connect the line to my upper eyelid and fill in the gap. Curling your lashes makes a huge difference, especially if your lashes are very straight. It instantly opens up your eyes. Then I would use a small amount of mascara to lock the curls in place. It also makes your lashes look longer and thicker, giving it more definition. And if you're going for more of the natural look, you only need one coat of mascara. This is what my under eyes looked like before, and this is after. So if you have dark circles, I would use a small amount of a peachy or pinky color corrector under your eyes just before adding concealer. This helps neutralize the darkness so you don't need as much concealer. Let it sit for around 30 seconds before blending, and this will give you more coverage with minimal product. You can blend with a beauty blender or a brush. Then I follow it up with a concealer, and I use one that is brighter than my skin tone. I use a small amount and I keep it light so that it looks as natural as possible. And then I blend it out with a beauty blender. This is what my cheeks look like before, and this is what they look like after. So I place bronzer slightly above my cheekbones. This helps lift your face and give it warmth and definition. This is especially useful if you have a round face like me. So I use the Rare Beauty bronzer and I draw the lines directly on my face. So I first draw one above where my cheekbone would be, and I stop when it gets halfway across my cheek. Then I add some to my forehead and jaw. And I use a brush to gently blend this out with gentle tapping motions. So don't swipe when blending, just gently tap, otherwise you'll remove the product. And once it looks blended, I will add some blush. So blush brings life back to your face. And I think the easiest one to use for beginners is probably a cream blush. So this is the House Labs one in Glassy Rosette. So I apply it just above the bronzer and across the bridge of my nose, forehead, and chin. And this gives me a more balanced, sun-kissed look. So to get a seamless blush application, I first put the product on the back of my hand. Then I blend my brush in it until the blush is evenly distributed onto the brush. Then I gently tap the blush in the areas where I want to add it and use a very, very light hand. Less is more, and you want to gently build the layers up instead of applying too much and then having to spend ages blending it out. If you want your blush to look natural, apply just enough for the blush to be visible and then stop. And try not to apply too much. I set my makeup with a Huda Beauty Easy Bake setting powder powder in the shade Cherry Blossom. So I apply a small amount onto a powder puff. Less is more here. Then I gently tap it under the eyes where I put my concealer. And just a quick top tip, before you apply your powder, just make sure you go back in with your beauty blender and you gently blend out your under eye. This will remove any creases to ensure that you don't accidentally set your creases. And you want to apply just a small amount on your forehead, sides of the nose, and just here. And just this part of my face, where I tend to get really oily. And I leave everything else without powder. This allows me to look really glowy while setting my makeup in place. If you want your makeup to last longer, then go over your cream products with powder. So if you used a cream bronzer, use a powder bronzer. If you used a cream blush, use a powder blush. For blush, if you don't have another powder blush, but you still want your blush to last longer, just add another layer of the cream blush that you applied before. This only works if it is a cream blush, and if it's a liquid blush, I wouldn't do this technique because it could set weirdly over the powder and look patchy. And I would use a light hand here so that you don't accidentally apply too much like I just did. And this will help dramatically improve the longevity of your makeup because you have a layer of powder between 2 layers of cream blush. So for lips, I use a natural colored lip liner, Ginger from Kylie Cosmetics. And just a quick tip, if you want a more natural lip liner application, make sure your pencil is blunt. This allows you to apply it faster and also give it a more blurred application. So I'm just going to remove the Vaseline that I had on my lips. And you just want to follow your natural lip line. And then I also just add a little bit of lip liner on the corners of my lips to make my lip gloss last longer, just like this. And I use a gloss on the center of my lips to make them look fuller and more hydrated. I prefer using a gloss instead of a matte lipstick as it makes my lips look really smooth, and matte lipsticks tend to accentuate all of my fine lines on my lips. Then I finish with a setting spray, and I always use my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. It gives a natural sheen. It doesn't look too overly glowy, but it just brings a little bit of life back to my face. And it helps lock my makeup in so that it lasts all day. And I'm not joking. My makeup right now will last me all day. Even if the weather is super hot, even if I'm sweating, I'll still come back and my makeup will still be there and it'll still look really good. And that's my simple beginner-friendly routine for acne-prone skin. You don't need loads of products. You just need to know how to use them correctly and where to place them. If you want more beginner tutorials like this, comment below what you're currently struggling with. See you in my next video. Bye!